right, fans, here we go. Now in the cage, our special attraction of this evening, 3 rounds of mixed martial arts for the SparStar promotion super flyweight and vacant California State super flyweight title. This bout is sponsored in part by Hood Stocks. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout, Chris the Crippler Lieben. And now, introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, she is wearing black trunks trimmed in purple. She is training out of Classic Fight Team, Raw Talent Boxing, and HBU by way of Huntington Beach, California. She weighed 114 pounds. Her record undefeated, 2 wins with no losses. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the former California State Champion, her opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, she is wearing black trunks trimmed in white and red. She is training out of San Pedro Fight Club, San Pedro, California. She weighed 115 pounds. Her record, 2 wins with 2 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the current SparStar promotion super flyweight champion, Keilani Ahsoon. Once again, our referee in charge, Chris the Crippler Lieben, to give final instructions.
Bring it in, ladies. All right, you both know what's on the line. We went over the instructions in the locker room. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now.
All right, John. Well, people here are deeply anticipating this one. And you know, one of the nice parts is, just as you were like pointing out to me just a few seconds ago, looking at the accomplishments of one Charlotte Craig, just incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I mean, she's a Taekwondo Olympian. I think she said 13-time USA national team member. And her striking, of course, if you're working at Classic Fight Team with Tyler, your striking is just going to be razor sharp. So,
even there, already off to a good start. Very, very formal, very nice. And you know what I mean? Like, even the way she's slipping out, she makes sure that she tags Lonnie there. And just starting to rack up good points. Good start.
yeah, now this is going to be the trick. You need to close the distance on a fighter like this because you don't want to be at the end of those long legs when she's winging those kicks from way far away like this, right? So soon, if she can close that distance, get her up against the cage, she should have a much better shot. She'll be out of like at least the immediate danger zone. And she is very scrappy, so if there's a fighter that can close the distance and really get the fight to where she wants it to be, it's Ahsoon. There we go, starting to cut it off. Oh, eats a punch though.
That just drops Keilani.
It's the precision. Yeah. She's so fast.
I mean, even as she's sliding out, hold up.
That was a low blow?
Yeah, I think so. Just as you're watching the way that Craig, as she slid that last one out, like most people can't slide and hit that kind of precise.
It's interesting because she's from the Taekwondo world, where, I mean, when I was younger, I was nowhere near the level of Taekwondo that she is, like a much different level, but I did Taekwondo and I also did karate, and she hit a reverse punch there, which is more of like from the strict karate world typically, just because the majority of strikes are going to be kicks. And here, Keilani able to close the distance.
Yeah, However, when you're doing that with somebody that has that much experience, it might be harder to.
Nice
She's
knee
got
tap,
the start
though.
to the takedown. She's starting to go to a mount.
This will allow her to work
Craig
towards the
gets
back,
right
but
back up.
yeah, nice whizzer from Charlotte. That's the thing. In the clinch, those knees still play a factor. There's another one.
Oof.
And another one. But if Keilani can lock her hands around the legs.
It seems like every time she tried to lock the hands, she just got a knee for her troubles.
Yeah, really, really difficult to deal with. I like the way she had that knee tap. She actually got Charlotte down to one hip. Which at least if she's there, she's not kicking you. Pumping that jab. Oh,
nice.
Worked her way in.
Good respect there, Keilani. And then right back to work on the cage. 15 seconds left to go here in the first round of action for this title fight. Excellent work by both ladies. I mean, you know, Charlotte's looked really good. Keilani in that last exchange, though, just shows how quickly she can change the dynamic, too.
I love to see that. Charlotte going for a takedown of her own. Nearly gets it, but good defense from Keilani. Man, we got to fight.
Yeah. And as they're losing their minds, justifiably so. Love to see it. The next generation of fight fans or fighters, you never know.
Yeah, this one is, like I said, impossible to be boring, and
Yeah.
first round's proven me correct so
First
far.
round delivering already, which is great to see. See the packed house here from a multitude of angles. Just everybody here in our VIP section, just the extended crowd. I mean, if you could just see this at home, I don't even know that you feel the extent of how many people are here tonight to support SparStar and all of these amateur fighters. We go to now our second round of competition here, starting right as it began in that first with a nice kick there by Craig. Oh, now starting to back her up. She does miss a couple of those, but I mean, just every time she does that, sometimes it doesn't take a lot to really connect if you do it the right way. Like, she's forging ahead. And what I did notice in that first round, she was trying to push that action. Like, she was trying to command that center. It's just very difficult with somebody with that much reach who really knows how to utilize it and has other weapons at her disposal as well.
Yeah, it looked like Keilani was starting to cut off the cage on Charlotte fairly well at some point, but Charlotte is good at circling, so it's really difficult to do. Good aggression, though.
I mean, it is perhaps the intel that she got from that first round to now make the adjustments, because you see here, I mean, when she connected there, it's mostly because she's starting to calculate a little bit better as to how to cut off that distance and maybe force a little bit of that back step to become a problem for Craig.
Yeah, Keilani, it looked like she ate one coming in, but now to the over-under clinch. I'm sure she's trying to get her hips in so she doesn't have to worry about those knees. They're dropping for a single leg, but Charlotte using that whizzer, bring that arm back up to the torso.
Right now is about the midway point of the fight so far, and just tense.
I think we're going to see another takedown attempt from Charlotte.
Yeah.
But good. Oh, another low blow. Oh, he said he didn't see it.
Ooh.
Yeah, if the ref doesn't see it, you can't stop the fight yourself.
It is difficult. You can't necessarily call for your own sort of moment there. That I do understand. I mean, Lieben's watching it like a hawk, so perhaps he has that better angle than the rest of us.
Yeah, and Lieben has really been on it tonight, too.
Yeah.
So, great way to punch her way into a single leg. Keilani, she has a very rounded back here, though. Her posture is just not good. Tries to run the pipe. Difficult to do, especially if they don't have a whizzer and without the good posture.
I mean, has to change course and decides to use that energy to force her over to the cage, which ended up proving fruitful for that. That was a very solid play here. Now we're going to see how this works. She's starting to pass the guard. She has a staple on that leg. There could be an underhook here if she really wants it, but she's mostly keeping it just for a little bit of balance, I think, at this point. And you're noticing Charlotte is utilizing that arm, just kind of keeping it at bay so that she can't fully pass. It's using almost like a frame in that particular scenario. And we are just short of ending the second round, but a much better round for Keilani, honestly.
Yeah, much better. Okay.
Okay, we got ourselves a real fight here, John.
Yep.
And, you know, you were mentioning the cutting of distance. Just that read by Keilani to recognize, all right, if I throw myself into this punch at the same time, I can come up on that single, at least in a way that I couldn't do it before. She was close, and you mentioned a little bit of that roundness in her posture.
Yeah.
But then she realized, okay, I can't fix this. I'm a little connected here. I'm going to bum rush into the cage, use that as a split second, reverse cut the angle, and then still get the takedown. And I have to say, it looked more like she was just going to settle for the cage, like pushing her up against the cage and kind of going doing that work. That was an excellent play. Like, I think that was maybe two of the best moments from Keilani all fight, the entire fight.
Yeah, I mean, the closing the distance, like you said, throwing the punches, closing the distance, getting on that single, even if she wasn't in the best position.
Here we go, the third
still very well
and
done.
final round.
All right, this one's potentially 1-1. Potential.
Very potentially, John.
So this could be...
Like, you can't underline words that we say, but underline very potentially.
And you never know what the judges are looking at, too, or what they're thinking.
You do get the feeling, if you are watching this like we are, it's close.
Ooh.
Oh, nice crack there by Keilani. She follows it up, not just with one, but two more. Charlotte's under duress right now, but starts to slow it down.
Looks like Keilani wanted to go for a Metzger there, reaching for that far leg, but instead decides to stay on the single leg. Might try to, she's going to try to foot sweep. Okay. I thought she was just going to try to put her hips in and lift.
Yeah.
Oh, good underhook from Charlotte. And there is a potentially low blow, but
nobody's calling for it.
Yep. And now into a front head and arm.
I think it's already
front headlock. Looking for a Darce maybe.
Yeah.
But that good 2-on-1 from Keilani. If she lets us go, the Darce might be there.
It's close. It's just maybe a little bit postured up a little too high. But
her head's still in bad position, though, down underneath.
And it's not just that it's there, but that it's hanging down there. That's when it starts to get a little bit where if the head moves, that's where you can move the body. But she readjusts very nicely with these double unders here. And now they're pummeling back for position again. And Charlotte could reverse this, but she's having a hard time because Keilani's rebalancing very quickly and rushes back in on a perfect angle. You could see her coaches, they recognize how close this is. So there's urgency in what she's saying, and guess what? Even as it looks like Charlotte might be able to reverse it and almost goes for that trip, doesn't quite get it. Yeah, if you're Charlotte, I think you almost want to kind of try and get her to the other area. You don't want to be that close to any of her coaches because Keilani she's trying to get this takedown. She's got that, at least the beginnings of that single. And if you've seen her, she's utilized those knees before.
Look at her with the belly wizard and really pushing that head down underneath. Keilani pops her head out and is now looking for the double. This is where she was successful before. See if she gets there. Nope. Over under from Charlotte.
What is interesting about Charlotte is even though she's getting a lot of pressure put on her, the composure in her face, you don't sense anything is wrong with her. And now just putting all of that strong pressure, just trying to push that neck down, not even trying to attach the back of her back.
Yeah, she's got this chin strap. It looks like she's grabbing her other arm underneath like a front headlock, but not connecting the hands in a traditional manner.
22 seconds left to go here in an extremely close fight. You know, this is the moment where if you pull off something within these next 14 seconds, you do leave on a better impression. But you do get the sense the momentum was starting to turn for Keilani. So you do wonder how it's going to finish. She tries to finish that takedown, doesn't quite get it. And yet, that is going to end the fight for us right now, John. What a very solid technical fight.
Yeah, this was a good one, and a great job from Charlotte staying up in that exchange because Keilani was really working her way into the legs there. But she did a great job with posture control, being heavy, utilizing that belly whizzer and pushing her head down and trying to square up to her. Man, it was a good fight. I'm curious to see how this one goes.
One of the few things that I would say, though, is Keilani did such a good job of really maintaining that pressure, especially utilizing that cage work. And look at some of these highlights here, John. Like this, trying to get here early on.
Oh, it wasn't a reverse
drop
punch.
down at
She
the very
switched
first
her.
round.
She switched her stance and actually just threw that lead hand. So I stand corrected.
Boom.
Yeah.
And I mean,
nice.
That was the first big moment in this fight. Then we come down. Chris Lieben said, I didn't see anything. We're not going to call for a stop to action.
Yeah, and Charlotte with that 1-2 right after it, too.
I would, too.
That's what you should be doing.
And this is where things got interesting because you're
narrowly
see
missed.
here.
And that one landed.
Beautiful. And I think that gave her the confidence later in the fight to just continue on with it. Like, if you see it's effective and she wasn't prepared for it, she wasn't prepared for it the second time. So those were very, very solid moments for both the ladies, just in terms of their excellent stand-up. Like, we aren't even getting into how they utilize the cage control, but the only thing I do wonder is, let's say they push you up against the cage. When you're pushed up against that cage in a close fight where you do want to start taking damage into consideration, if you have the ability to get some of those punches in when you're the person pressed up against the cage, how much does that change what some of the referees or the judges are thinking as they get to there?
I'm not sure.
Is
that Tiki Gosen in her corner? The old MMA fame. Tiki was like an OG of like Orange County Muay Thai.
Oh, wow. I think you might be right.
Is that? Oh.
We await these last few seconds for the referees to get, for our announcer to get the judge's decision, but as they are waiting for it, the ladies pay respect to one another, complimenting one each other, and it's great to see because, I think they have such respect for each other, and I do know their nerves have to be on high as they wait for this official decision to be rendered in, and the longer you have to wait, the more anxious you feel. So I think now Chris Lieben calls them back over so that we can now hand it back on over to our announcer, one Jim Fitzgerald. Take it away, Jim.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, once again, let's give both fighters a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to our scorecards. We have our decision. Judge at cage side, Jackie Denkin scores the bout 30-27, while both judges cage side, Carlos Schad and Don Howard, score the bout 29-28 in favor of our winner by unanimous decision. She is still undefeated, the new California State Champion, as well as the SparStar Champion.
That's right, fight fans. Your flyweight champion, Charlotte Craig. How do you feel?
I'm speechless. This is amazing. I had so much fun in the ring with Keilani. I want to thank her. She's a tough opponent. I want to thank first and most my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and God for giving me this opportunity. And I want to thank my coaches and all my family and friends that came out here to support me. Thank you.
That's the right, fight fans. Once again, make your noise for your flyweight champion, SparStar champion, Charlotte Craig.
Well, the audience feeling some kind of way about Charlotte Craig, and I have to tell you, I think it's because sometimes we sack this out with people who are there for their people, but you do have to respect the work she put in here tonight. That was an incredible display by her.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Keilani brings a huge crowd.
Huge.
Yeah, so you can expect the boos for Charlotte if Keilani's fighting her and loses.
And perhaps with a decision that close.
Man, it was close. It was